From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big afternoon here on Noontime's LALATE with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and the breaking news that is absolutely wonderful. Then the second half of this recording, we can go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up lifetime, and why new economic indicators today are really fascinating. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money that's available for you right now. Thousands of dollars that viewers get every few minutes on this channel, and I want you to be that next viewer. It's a big noontime. It's a big, exciting day. I'm excited to give you all this great news. Let's get to it, starting right here on Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How are you doing? It's a beautiful day here in Santa Monica, live with you just after 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. How you doing? How's the weather where you are? Drop in the live chat or the comments where you're watching from and how's the weather. The sun has finally come out, if you just noticed. Better lighting, but it's also beautiful here right at the moment. Not too hot, a little bit of breeze, ocean breeze, wonderful. In this fourth stimulus check updated 2021, we're also going to go over some wonderful news. The monthly stimulus check, House versus Senate, and the breaking news that is all incredible, discussing the reconciliation process. In the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. And the new economic data that came out this morning, that's fascinating. It'll give us analysis of that new benchmark and how it's applied in December. And then this middle recording, we go over the big money that viewers continue to get, and I want you to get that money as well. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel, live in the morning like right now, and then taped in the afternoons. Next, back with you at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Afternoons LALATE. Then 5 o'clock Evenings LALATE with that big hit show, followed by Evenings Crypto, and then Overnights LALATE. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board, so subscribe right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button. Next stop, 1 million subscribers. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus by comparing the House bill from Jalapal and the Senate proposal, starting right now. The House bill from Jalapal provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year on a monthly basis. The Senate plan is different. Let's compare and contrast. Here is the House bill from Jalapal, a check monthly for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate plan, on the other hand, a stimulus check from July to December. Let's compare the monthly amounts. The House bill from Jalapal, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 every month thereafter. The Senate plan, a monthly amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. Incredible, great news. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 an individual. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 an individual. If you're watching while the show debuts live on air at 11:20, jump into the live chat and vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from. But don't vote just yet. And if you're watching later in the day, vote under the video's comment section. Let's go back to an element of Jalapal's bill that may get modified due to macroeconomic factors. Those factors are the following. Jalapal's bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But some legislators contend the pandemic may be over by the time the vote occurs. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill would provide a stimulus check for 1 year, not pandemic plus 1 year. 12 months of stimulus checks, which would amount to $13,000. Now let's compare that to this. So now, get ready to vote in the live chat. House or Senate, which one do you like? House or Senate? And tell me where you're tuning in from. I think you have an opinion, so I want to see it. House or Senate, which one, and where you're tuning in from. Let's go over the other great news you need to know about this fourth stimulus check. First, who gets it? You do. So if you got the third, you get the fourth. Single individual, 75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Double it. Household four or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And then if you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Congratulations. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Rural Benefits, Veterans Benefits, SSA, Survivor Benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not taken out for taxes. It's not income. The fourth stimulus check would not come in waves. It's a monthly stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would not have a different amount for different people. It's the same amount for everyone. Adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone. Wonderful news. Remember, I'm a reporter. I'm not a legislator. They make the representations. They make the promises. I just report what they're saying. And they report that, and they indicate that the vote would be by July 4th. That means you would get your fourth stimulus check the first month in the month of July for the month of July, and then in the month of August for the month of August. Wonderful, wonderful good news. But we're not done there yet. In the second half of this recording, I have more breaking details about how this is going to unfold, more about the vote, the reconciliation process, more about the fourth stimulus check coming up in just a second. Can't wait to tell you that news. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus, and we're going to look and see how that fifth stimulus gives you a lot more money than Elizabeth Warren was ever going to give you. We'll be going over how it raises up your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Rural Benefits, Veterans Benefits, Survivor Benefits, SSA, and how that benchmark may get modified based upon interesting new economic data today. Ooh, really fascinating. But first, let's get some money. Boy, let's get some moolah, as Sir Loin would say. Since this channel has launched, I have been dedicated to getting people money. That is what I do on this channel. I'm just not a person who reads news and just regurgitates the latest news story. I get people money. Got viewers $25 million for EIDL loans last year by hand-holding them through the process, application after application, getting $25 million. Then in the fall of last year, I got viewers $250,000 of rent and utilities by helping them through that process. We are cashing checks here, folks. We aren't tracking checks. And I'm ready for you to get some money right now. So get a pen and paper ready. I got a lot of money to get you. Stay to the very end of this video, and it's starting right now. I got $350 billion for you landing. Well, it's not all your $350 billion. It's to share. It's landing for the federal government to share, and it's coming to your cities and counties and states this week again. It is money for rent, utilities, homeowners help like mortgage, and homeowners utilities. Let's go over all the incredible details starting right now. The rent is a lot. It is $5,000 approximately for 4 to 6 months of rent. And where you're going to get it, I'm going to show you in a second. You're going to reach out to each of these places because they have different eligibility. So one may say no, and the next one may say yes. They have their own pot of money as well. Hope you got that pen and paper ready. Here we go. 6 places to start for that rent. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. The key words you're going to say when you call up is rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage assistance because of COVID. Now, when you call up, you don't say stimulus. And you don't say ketchup. They'll be like, ketchup? What do you mean ketchup? This is about rent. Yes, you have to say the right words. You don't say croissant either. So that's when you call up. You ask for rent assistance because of COVID or mortgage assistance because of COVID. $5,000 for rent. Tim and Linda got that money just a few days ago, approximately $5,000 for rent. But I got more money for you, and it's starting right now. Gail got this money 2 days ago. Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Killing it, Lynn. Doing a great job. Let's go over this money. And what is it? It's SNAP. It's SNAP. I'm going to go over how much you can get, when you get it, and how you get it. Oh, and a viewer yesterday, I think it was on Afternoons LA, said that she got, I think it was $450 a month. Imagine, $450 a month. That's a fortune over 12 months. Wonderful job. Congratulations to her as well. So what is this? It's money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture, DOA. Where do you get it? At Department of Agriculture. They administer it. Call them up, DOA, or call 211, get connected over. And how much can you get? Family of 4 in Hawaii can now get upwards of $16,000 a year because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. Well, I got more money on top of that, and that money, one viewer got $5,000. Got this pen ready for this one? This is coming back from your state. Let me go over how much you get, where you're going to get it, and when you get it. First, what is this? It's the money you had to send back to your state unemployment department. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment to no fault of your own, due to computer malfeasance, computer error, and then those states asking you to return the money, which you did. Well, the federal government said, nope, 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 that was your money to keep, the viewer, and now has ordered the states to return the money back to you. Wow, wonderful. Now, when are you going to get the money? Reach out to your respective state. Every state has different routing times. And then how are you going to get the money? On the bank account you have on file. It's automatic. Now, the next pot of money, one viewer got $2,000 for this, but another viewer last Friday reached out to me in our new hit show, Overnight Crypto, that 15-hour show that is absolutely a lot of fun. A lot of people get in the chat, and we just have a lot of fun. And he wanted you to know that he got his check last Friday, so stay positive. What is this money? It's wonderful. It is the money coming back from IRS that you pay taxes for on your unemployment benefits. Let's go over how much it is, how you get it, when you get it, and also how to track it. So first, what is this? This is the amount of money you paid on your unemployment taxes to IRS on that 2020 tax return. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits and you paid $5,000 of your total tax bill under the 2020 return to IRS. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000, that portion that you paid on taxes for the unemployment benefits to IRS back to you. Next, how are you getting it? In an envelope. This is perhaps the most important thing I got to tell you. How? In an envelope, in the mail, beige or white. What's important to know is the envelope is razor thin. It is razor thin, so you need to go surgically slowly through the mail over the next few weeks because you can absolutely throw it away if you're not careful. Then when? All the checks were sent out in the month of May, so the checks will be landing the first 2 weeks of June approximately. Single individuals are getting theirs first, then single filers are getting theirs first, then single filers with dependents next, and then single people, then joint filers are last. Finally, how to track it. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password for free, put your social security number in, and then do what's called a transcript search. It works about 70% of the time. It will reveal the activity on your name, your tax return you filed, the taxes you paid on that 2020 unemployment benefits, and the check you're getting back. Wow. Is there anything better than that? There is. It's the remainder of my fourth stimulus check update of 2021, and it's heating up right now. Got big breaking details about that fourth stimulus check, and we're going to go over it right now. First, we're going to go over the incredible updates from Leader Schumer, who has now confirmed not one, but three of the details I've been reporting over the last week. First, Leader Schumer confirms the reconciliation process has already begun and already was underway. Second, Leader Schumer confirms the reconciliation process will be done by no later than July 4th. And number three, Leader Schumer confirms that the reconciliation process will continue and finish with or without any further negotiations by the president if he wants to negotiate or not. Now, boy, this is all really exciting. Let me go back to how we got there and have you understand where we are in this reconciliation process. The ball got started rolling by no less than, of course, Jalapal again. When Jalapal introduced that House bill that provides that monthly stimulus check of $2,000 to $1,000 for pandemic plus 1 year, Jalapal got a little bit of support, just a little bit. 100+ House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to do that multiple stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package. So what did Jalapal do to get the ball rolling again? Wrote Leader Schumer a letter about a week ago, said, call the vote. Why did Jalapal say that? Because the legislation for the recon had ostensibly nearly been finished. And that Jalapal just said, call the vote. There should be no wait or time to call it. More about what calling the vote means in just a second. But the letter from Jalapal got signed by nearly a dozen House members who are included among those that signed the letter to the president weeks earlier saying they want those multiple stimulus checks in there. Wow. Can we get better than that? We can. We can get better than that when 7 Democrats wrote in a separate letter to the president about a week ago that they're going to work with him to put those monthly reoccurring stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Well, work with him is a euphemism because the president doesn't write legislation. These people do. But why would these people be writing our stimulus checks? Very simple. They are on the House subcommittee that is solely and exclusively tasked with the responsibility in the U.S. government to write about stimulus checks. And they wrote the first, the second, and the third stimulus checks, and they're now saying they're writing the fourth stimulus checks and putting in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, that is wonderful news. Can we top that? Yeah, we still can. About a week ago, the president said, you know what, it's just time to call the vote. And call the vote, Leader Schumer, start calling the vote as of the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. And that's what Leader Schumer said. Last Tuesday, the president even tried to top that and did something really wonderful, but a little confusing, so I'm going to slow it down. Forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. So what did the president do last Tuesday? He reached out to global leaders to try to raise the global corporate tax rate. Now, what does that mean? So that companies in the United States would not leave the United States and go globally. Pretty simple. So what happened later in that day? That's where it gets exciting. The president reached out to those G7 countries, and then he told insiders that allegedly what he's going to do is that once forced stimulus is signed into law, he's going to get those G7 countries to formally sign on the dotted line about that global minimum corporate tax rate. And if they do, he's going to drop the U.S. corporate tax rate. Drop it back down again after getting us stimulus checks out the door. Can it get better than that? It can. As the end of last week, over a half a dozen Senate Democrats came out and said, Schumer, just call the vote. Just call the vote. And here we are, underway in the reconciliation process. In the second half of this video, I'll be going over what call the vote means, what you should anticipate during this reconciliation process. An old favorite is brought back into this channel. You're going to be very excited with a personal message from me. And then the big updates about fifth stimulus, why it's more money than the Elizabeth Warren plan, and also the new economic data today, which is really quite fascinating in view of that. But can we top that? We can, and it's the volunteers. If you're having problems getting rent, utilities, or homeowners help, and you try to find it on your own, you can't find it, don't worry. The spirit of this channel has been me helping other viewers get money. We're cashing checks here. We ain't tracking checks. And whether it was EIDL last year or rent and utilities this last fall, it's now still rent and utilities. And viewers just like yourself have stepped up to help one another get that money. They're the volunteers on the community page. How do you get to the community page? Open the description of this video. Go down till you find an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji is a link to the web page, the community page, news.lalate.com/community. Go to that page and you'll see a picture of some kitty cats. No, those are not the volunteers. Those are just kitty cats. Lower on the page are the volunteers. They're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Reach out to the volunteers. They'll be happy to help you get that rent and internet and utilities and mortgage assistance. Here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with more exciting details about fourth, fifth stimulus, and an exciting new friend coming back to the channel. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE with more exciting details about your fourth stimulus check, your fifth stimulus check, and the return of a familiar friend. How are you? It's big noontime, LA. How you doing? The comments of the commercial break were hysterical. People talking about Sheba. They're like, Sheba who? How are you? How's the weather where you are, and how's your day going? Drop in the comments how the weather is and where you're tuning in from. This is LA, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I'm next back with you on afternoons LA at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Then evenings LA, then evenings crypto, and then overnights crypto. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video and consider becoming a member. In a second, I'm going to go over the value of membership. Let's cut to that fifth stimulus that heats up this fall and see why it's more money than the Elizabeth Warren plan was going to give you. Fascinating. And the breaking news as well about this. So they're going to raise your benefit limits up. They're going to remove the asset limit, add a new inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and then remove the income exclusion. Let's go over what that means, how it works, what the calculation is for it, and why is this more than Elizabeth Warren's plan? All right. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. If you're a Social Security, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, survivor benefits, all your benefits and multiple beneficiaries as well will be raised up to a big new number. Then they're going to apply a benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. What's a benchmark? Every December you get a letter that says next year your benefits will either step up or stay the same. They never step down. So that inflationary benchmark is fascinating because we're trying to figure out where it's going to be. There was a brand new report that came out this morning which was really interesting. It talked about new car sales. As you know, there's a chip shortage around the world, semiconductor chip shortage, which is causing a shortage of new vehicles to be sold. There's a new report out this morning that said for the first time ever in U.S. history, the lead time between a car landing at a port of call from the manufacturer and getting to your driveway is the shortest in U.S. history because the cars are just landing and they're selling in 10 seconds. No less than 7 days now, but from port of call to your driveway. What does that mean? It means it's a lot of inflation at the moment. But the same report said that by the fall, the chip shortage will be gone, a lot of cars will be available, and the demand won't be there as much. Talking about deflation, not inflation. Ooh, fascinating. It's a little bit contradictory to the other reports which we've heard. We've heard a lot of reports that said the inflation rate will be much higher later this year. Like the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said, we're going to go from 4 to 10.5% growth between now and December, showing we're going to zoom up, not zoom down. Jeremy Siegel saying we're going to go to 20% inflation in December. And a lot of analysts talking about 4 to 7% inflation by December. Well, let's use a number, 6%, for example. This is how it's going to work. First, they're going to raise up your benefits under fifth stimulus. Then, in December, they'll look at that benchmark and then apply it. So let's say it's 6%. Next year, your benefits would go up 6%. But not just for next year. Lifetime. Because the way the benefits work is they only step up or stay flat. So if the year after that, the inflation rate is 0, you don't step down. You stay at plus 6%. And the year after that, the inflation rate is again 0, you stay at plus 6%. If the rate after that is 2%, then you're at plus 2 and plus 6% together. Wonderful news. Now, they're also going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1960s law that says, 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 in your hand. Good time to get rid of it before you get those stimulus checks in our hand. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty, a horrible rule. Thank God it's going to be gone. Finally, love is going to win and you will be able to marry your longtime love interest and not be penalized by losing benefits. And if you're married, you will no longer be penalized by the marriage penalty. That's fifth stimulus out the door for a vote around October, November they're representing, which means your benefits would step up then. And then the benchmark letter December, the benchmark applied in January. Now, the Elizabeth Warren plan would not have provided you as much money as this for many, many different reasons. One, she was going to tie your benchmark to CPIE, not inflation. Inflation is expected to be much higher this year. The highest of a generation, which will raise your benefits lifetime through the roof. She was also not going to provide you the marriage penalty removal, the asset cap removal, or the income cap removal. There are other provisions as well that this actually ends up giving you a lot more money. Great news. So what else is in fifth stimulus? It's important to understand that in a 30-minute video, I don't have time to go over everything that's in the fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus and third stimulus, but there's a lot of other money in there for you. For example, in the fifth stimulus, there's money for single people. But in a 20-minute video that's currently at 25 minutes, I don't have time to go through all that stuff. That's the value of membership. Membership links appear at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Every day I send out to members through the YouTube community page of this channel that if you have signed up by email, you get by email as well, a link to what is a delineation and breakdown of what's in the fifth stimulus, what's in the fourth stimulus, and what's in the third stimulus. So you know all the money that's coming to you. For example, in the fifth stimulus package, the president calls it the American Family Plan, but there's actually money in there for single people. Single people, hazard pay single people, single seniors as well. Wonderful news. And in fourth stimulus, there's a lot of other money available for you that I can't cover in this video as well. Now let's go back to the exciting details about fourth stimulus and calling the vote. It's important for you to know what calling the vote is, how the voting process goes underway in the reconciliation process, so you are informed and educated. And if someone else in the live chat doesn't know the answer, then you can share it with them as well. I've identified 9 voting steps that are required by the Constitution for the reconciliation to finish. They're not discretionary. They're not created by any person or any party. They're required by the Constitution. The first half are procedural. The second half are substantive. Step 1. The House subcommittees vote on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. And step 4, the President signs the procedural bill. At this point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go do the substantive part with the tow hitch. Step 5, the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. It's at this point that the House subcommittee, House Ways and Means, for example, could put in the multiple stimulus checks at the House subcommittee level and vote on them. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and Step 8 is the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate, at which the Senate introduces amendments to whatever they receive from the House. For example, if the House did have multiple stimulus checks in there, the Senate can modify them, amend them. Or if the House didn't put them in there, the senators can put them in there. And step 9, the president signs into law. There you go. 9 steps, 9 votes. So it's important to understand that it can't be done in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. It's 9 steps that require those procedural and substantive votes. Finally, an old friend is coming back to the channel, and it's the Purple Power Push. This channel and you have been very successful in getting things pushed through and getting them done. In fact, we've made history. Last year, in December of last year, I saw second stimulus going off the rails. It wasn't getting done. It wasn't happening. It was ostensibly dead. So what did I do? I came up with the idea myself to put stimulus into a continuing resolution. Never, rarely ever done. And I started the campaign, CR for stimulus, or stimulus for CR. And I urge you to tweet and push as a Purple Power member to get stimulus into the CR, to put stimulus checks in the CR. People thought we were crazy. Guess what? Soon they started to move. And soon they agreed to put stimulus into the CR. We made history. But then some legislators tried to turn on us. They tried to only put unemployment stimulus in the CR and no stimulus checks. So we pushed back and we got stimulus checks in the CR. Why do I bring that up? Because we have 2 emojis on this channel. One is it's not bill yet, and second, it's not law yet. If you've been with this channel, it doesn't mean anything if something is signed into law, let alone written as a bill. Because until the moment that they send the check out, these legislators have consistently changed their story. So we never want them to have that opportunity to change. You want to take this video and share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and push with the hashtags Purple Power and hashtag MSC. In fall of last year, we were promised FPUC retro. We weren't given it. In fall of last year, we saw the CARES Act introduced that said that adult dependents who had not gotten the first stimulus check were going to get it, and $3,200. It never happened. In January of this year, we saw third stimulus pass that was supposed to provide the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant, a new $5,000 EIDL grant, an escalation of the EIDL loan. All those things are actually law. And very few viewers have still gotten the money. So it's important to understand that we always have to push because ultimately these are legislators. So with that, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. push and ensure that these people take this to the finish line. They have made the push, but we need to get it all the way to the finish line. And with that, I look forward to seeing you next on Afternoons LALATE. That's at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Join me on that big show. It's at 3 o'clock, followed by Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m. Then Overnight Crypto. Then Evenings Crypto, and then Overnight Crypto. And thank you for joining me on the new expanded Overnights LA broadcast, now with 4 reruns every night on this channel. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, next stop at 1 million. I want you part of this family. The best, most caring, and most helpful community there is. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful noontime or afternoon, and I'll see you next on Afternoons LA and Evenings LA. Stay informed, stay focused, stay with LA for more.